page 187. So is that 186 for you? I think it may be that we're going to look at.
It's 188.
Is it 188 you're ahead? Okay, so it is 188.
You have like one extra page in our book compared to you.
Okay, so you have graphs, and what is it that this graph is telling you? What's happening to the dry weight of the seed as it germinates? What's happening to the line? What do we think? What's happening to the line on this graph over time? What's happening? Any takers? Come on, I know it's Friday, but it's our last.
Is it when the plant, is it when it germinates the plant?
It is, but what is happening to the line? Is the line going up? Is the line going up, going down, staying the same?
No.
It's going down. So as your plant is germinating, the dry mass of the seed is going down along this line. Why might the mass of the seed be decreasing? What is the seed doing in terms of the things that we did yesterday? What would the seed...
It's using up the endosperm.
By what process?
Digestion.
So digestion is going to break it down, so that's not going to change the weight. That would mean the weight would stay the same.
Is it fertilization?
So no, we're gone way past that now. So we're at the germination stage. We've put it in the ground, and if it was just digestion, the line would stay level because it wouldn't change, because all you're doing is digesting it. You're turning big into small, but you haven't gotten rid of anything. So what process do you think the seed is doing to say that it's going down?
Is it mitosis?
So there is mitosis ongoing. So I suppose the question that goes with that is, where is the seed getting the energy for mitosis, or how is it making the energy for mitosis?
Respiration.
Yay! Okay, so here you're getting respiration. So it's using the digested components to make energy so it can do mitosis. Why here then at this point are we starting to get an increase? What's happening to our germinating seed to give us the increase?
It's sprouting.
And so when it sprouts, what does it do? That it doesn't do when it's under the ground.
It's growing. It's growing.
But how does it grow?
Mitosis.
Yes, but how does your plant physically... So at this point, it has used up, we will say, all of its food stores here. What is it doing now?
Oh, photosynthesizing.
Okay, so you're going photosynthesis at this point. Okay, so in terms of our blurb, the mass drops initially because of respiration, but it'll increase once photosynthesis starts. Now, technically, it's not the dry weight of the seed when photosynthesis starts, but your mass would increase of your whole plant once photosynthesis starts.
Where are we writing this?
So this is page 188. You have two graphs. They're not very well... they're too dark on your book, but you're putting the mass drops initially under graph A. There should be a gap. Is there a gap?
Yeah, just below it.
Yeah, just below it, and there should be a gap under B for B.
Is there supposed to be something on the screen?
Am I not sharing my screen? Oh, I apologize. Sorry, lads. Sorry, as I'm like drawing here going, why aren't they? Apologies. Is that better?
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry. So respiration to roughly this star, and then photosynthesis is kicking in after that point. Good spot, Flo. So in our second graph, we have the mass of the embryo is this line, and the mass of the endosperm is this line. Why over time are we getting one increasing and one decreasing?
As it's using up the stores of the endosperm while it's growing.
Yeah, so that's the first thing. And while your endosperm started up here, your embryo ends lower than it. Why is there a difference between those two masses? Because technically, if the embryo is getting all of the energy from the endosperm, they should be at the same level. So where is the loss coming from? So thinking about now again, it's growing via mitosis, but where is it getting the energy for mitosis? So what thing could it be losing? Any ideas? So how is this growing? It's doing mitosis as its form of cell division. But what's the process that's allowing it to grow, the embryo?
Photosynthesis.
So under the ground still, so photosynthesis isn't the way. So
Respiration.
okay, so if this is respiration, can you remember what is the formula for respiration? Oh yeah, great question. You remember? So all the sixes. C6H12O6 plus 6 oxygen goes to 6 CO2s and 6 H2Os. Does that give you an idea of why the embryo line and the endosperm, or the embryo masses and the endosperm masses, don't match?
It's giving off oxygen in mass.
So it's not giving
Sorry,
off.
mass in oxygen.
It is not giving off a mass of oxygen.
Oh, CO2. CO2.
Yeah, so it's going to essentially lose these because these guys are both gases. So the reason why you're getting the one decreasing, one increasing is because the food reserves are going to the growing embryo, and the loss in the total mass is due to respiration, and it's the CO2 and the H2O, they're going to be excreted. So they have, if memory served, used graph A before. They have asked questions on that. So just at higher level, be prepared to be able to explain those. Okay, if you're happy, we have just two little diagrams to draw. My ag, this used to be on the old ag. I don't know whether it's on the new ones. Can't remember. So you can tell me when you see it. So there are two types of germinations that occur, and they're described in terms of what happens to the cotyledon. Does it go above the ground or does it stay below the ground when the seed germinates? So I'll show you the little kind of animation. It's a PowerPoint animation, and then I'll switch my screen and we'll draw the last part of it together. So I can currently see Belen, James, Jess, Robin and Laura. So are you guys happy to move? Because if you are, then everyone else will. Jess, thumbs up. Okay. So this is just the little animation. and we'll draw it in a second. So this is the ground and this is our seed, and it's going through the process we went through yesterday. So the water to get the enzymes activated, to start digestion, to carry the digested food products, the oxygen for respiration, and once that there is enough respiration happening and there's enough energy, you end up having your radicle always emerges first, and then that will be followed by the plumule. And the thing about the plumule is that it has this what's called a hook, and the reason that hook is there is because these are the seed leaves, and the plant needs to protect those seed leaves as it's germinating, because if they get destroyed, the seed is never going to produce a flourishing plant. So it's called an epigeal hook, and when it comes out of the ground, it'll then unfold and you'll get your seed leaves and away you will go. But at all times during this germination, the cotyledon here stays under the ground. So this is what's called epigeal germination, and it's because the cotyledon stays under the ground. So we will see, can we draw it? Now, do you have any questions on that? So all it is the cotyledon stays under the ground, radicle comes first, plumule comes second, and away we go. So we're going to just draw our seed like so. We are going to draw our radicle, we are going to draw our plumule, and we're going to draw it with its hook before it ever germinates, or before the seed leaves actually go upright. So we give these little guys some root hairs down here. So this is called an epigeal hook. This is your plumule. This is your radicle. Excuse me for a second. Yes, my love.
What does crew length mean?
You spell it?
C-R-E-W.
Crew is things on a ship. Is a ship's crew all the people that work?
Crew length.
I don't know. I can't. Is it a word? Is it you're listening to it? No. I got to do this now, Anya. All right, if you write it down for me and I'll... Okay, apologies. Homeschool required information. So...
Miss.
Yeah.
That whole kind of like epigeal hook, is that why ferns come out curled up? You know, when they grow?
That is...
Anything to do with it?
No, because it doesn't have to do with germination. There is a protection thing going on, but it's just the way in which it grows, and there's... The auxin will obviously impact on what happens and where auxin is to make that leaf uncurl, but it's not in terms of germination. I've never actually seen a fern germinate, so I can't answer that. So okay. Your water is absorbed through the micropyle, and your testa will split. And in number 2 is the radicle emerges, and then the plumule, which is hooked. So this is the protecting of the seed leaves. And then in our last bit, the get that out of your way. Can you see the little? No, I'll get that.
Would you be able to move over the recording? You can't see the words. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So plumule straightens and leaves open, and your cotyledon shrinks. So I'm just going to change my color here. So the cotyledon stays underground, and I think you have most of it that says type of germination because cotyledons stay underground. It is called epigeal germination. Is that still an ag? So none of my...
I don't think we've done it yet.
Have you done plants and germination? Have you done the plant science part of things?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then maybe it isn't on it anymore.
Miss,
Yeah.
what is the word? So it's in section 2, and it says the plumule something it's hooked.
Hold on, give me 1 second. So it says the radical emerges, then the plumule, which is hooked to protect the seed leaves.
Okay, thank you.
I apologize for my bad writing. So again, it's Laura, Jess, James, Valen and Robin are the people I can see. So if you give me a thumbs up or a scratch your nose or do something thanking you, I'll know then that should be everyone else. Jess, you happy? Thank you. Valen, you're still working? So I'll show you just the other PowerPoint animation for the other one, the hyopgeal germination, and then we'll draw our diagram and then we'll see can we have a quick little play. So I think I'm still waiting on Velen. I'm going to change who I can see. Conke, are you okay to move? Okay, so change my share. Alrighty, so here is sunflower seed, and again the water has to be absorbed through the micropyle. Your radical is your first to, so this one is kind of slightly weird, but it is the radical that emerges first. And this time the plumule starts growing, so it's not two separate things. It is more like one thing. So the radical, while the radical goes down first, the top of the radical, which is the plumule in reality, actually starts to grow up through the soil. And I'm just going to go back. No, go back one more. So here you can see that the seed is here, and it's this part is what gets bigger. So there's still a hook, but the seed leaves are covered by the cotyledons as it moves up through the soil. And it's only when it gets up through the soil that the seed coat is destroyed and the seed leaves then can start to kick in. Okay.
So, wait, so the seed leaves grow inside the seed?
The seed leaves grow inside, so it's like the whole embryo. So in the first one, in the epigeal, the whole embryo spurts out of the seed. So the radical goes down, the plumule goes up. In the hyopgeal, the radical goes down and there's still plumule attached to it. And it's then the plumule starts to grow up. But it's just that it's going to be all hooked. The seed coat, the testa, actually protects this time the seed leaves. So we're going to draw two diagrams. So you have this little black thing over on your left side. We're going to give it its big hook down here and give these little our roots. So here, this is your hyopgeal hook. So this is, you have the soil. So this is your hyopgeal hook here, and your seed leaves are protected. by your testa. And then when it germinates, or when it gets through the soil, your seed coat is going to get discarded.
Is this like what happens next? The thing you're drawing now?
Well, so like for this particular one, yeah, it is what happens next.
Okay, thank you.
So the seed coat is discarded. Sorry. Is discarded, and your seed leaves appear. And once the other leaves kick in, the seed leaves will disappear. So seed leaves appear, photosynthesis starts. And when other leaves appear, the seed leaves die. Or they wither. Seed leaves wither. So you have it written type of germination because the cotyledon comes above ground. It is called hyopgeal germination. So to this day I still have issues remembering which is which. So in my head I try desperately to remember that the H means it goes high, so it comes out of the ground. That may or may not work for you. But
Miss,
yeah.
what is that pointing to? Like the second diagram you drew?
So this would be like a stage 1, and this would be the second one when it's actually gone through the soil up to the surface.
So does the seed go with the shoot?
The seed goes with the shoot.
Okay, thanks.
So the energy is being used for respiration to grow the radicle down, and then the energy is used to make this part of your plumule start moving, growing up. And once it's up and it's now, I suppose, run out of energy source, it gets rid of the seed coat, and now my leaves are there and I'm ready to start photosynthesizing.